my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're talking about the newly launched NOMAD eyeshadow palette that's called Ghost Town USA. In today's video, you will see 3 look tutorials, and of course, I will share my first impression final thoughts with you at the end of this video. In this video, you can also find timestamps for your convenience to navigate through. But before we get started, I would love to welcome new visitors and viewers to my channel. Hi, my name is Eve, and I love all things beauty. Here on my channel, I share about makeup, skincare, hair care, and at times lifestyle things like travel, fashion, and lifestyle vlogs. And if that sounds interesting to you, I hope you stick around, enjoy this video, subscribe to my channel. And now, without further ado, let's dive in. Ghost Town USA from NOMAD Cosmetics was just recently launched. I received my palette on PR and it was delivered to me on the day of the launch. This is my second NOMAD Cosmetics eyeshadow palette, so I'm already familiar with their formula and I was really excited to see this one. NOMAD Cosmetics is an independent beauty brand and their inspiration is based on different destinations around the world. Every launch is themed around the destinations, so this palette is themed from Ghost Town USA. Before we get to talk about anything else, can we just give a moment of appreciation to this stunning packaging? I believe this is their Halloween launch this year. The outside packaging looks like this, like one of the pictures on the actual palette. On the outside packaging here that we see the breakdown chart of the shades and then a little bit of information here. Every launch from NOMAD is super exciting. If you do not follow NOMAD on their Instagram, I have to say that you're kind of missing out because they do this super fun announcement of their launches in the form of a guessing game, starting usually about 4 days prior. The announcement of the color story, and it's the most fun thing I've ever seen brand do. So this palette has 18 shades and there is a really nice balance between mattes and shimmers. So there's 3 columns of mattes and 3 columns of shimmers. And I personally really like how it's organized in colorful blocks in a way, and they're not fully monochromatic. There are some differentiation within tones to make it interesting, and I personally very appreciate that. Guys, this is the first finished look. I added my Estee Lauder mascara and I also added this e.l.f. No Budge cream eyeshadow in the shade Plateau on my waterline and also on my upper lash line without a wing. This is the finished look. I basically used all these 6 shades in the first 2 columns, and these are all the swatches. My first initial impression that the formulas are very consistent. All the mattes are very consistent as far as the pigments and how they blend into each other and go on skin. Pigment is really, really nice and very, very easy to blend. And then the shimmers, they also seem to be very consistent with the formula, how they're made. They're very nice and creamy on touch and have a little bit of texture. So I found it being easier to apply with a finger if you just want a little bit more consistent pigment on the eye. And I did not have any difficulty blending them together. They're not really chunky. They definitely look nice and thick and foily, but they blended into each other very nicely and they look really cohesive. I personally really like how this look came out for one reason, because I really, really like that there's only one gray taupe shade here and it's more taupey than very gray. It looks a little bit more flattering on my skin tone. I really like that they added some warmness within the shimmers. Personally, for me, I think this is a very nice flattering combination. This is a finished look number 2. Added mascara and 2 different pencils. On my upper lash line, I added this Catrice pencil 20-hour ultra precision gel liner in the shade warm green, and then on my waterline I did the LA Girl Shockwave matte eyeliner in the shade Dragon. I use this often. This is a finished look. And these are all the shades that I used, all the mattes, and then 3 shimmers that went on my lid. So I practically used all these shades, and then I went into the darkest blue tone shades right here. Very beautiful and cohesive. They went together really nicely. I experienced a little bit of patchiness, if you noticed in my tutorial, with these 2 shades, and I had to take a smaller brush and pack the colors and then blend it out. That worked very well. Everything blended very seamlessly, so I'm very content with the outcome. Other than that, the formula of all these mattes again feels very consistent, and as far as the shimmer shades, they're so beautiful. This one is very beautiful shade because it is complex. I don't know if you can see, but it has this multi-dimensional shimmer. I see some purple and blue shimmers. I think this is an interesting formulation. This is a finished final look. I just added mascara and this LA Girl Shockwave pencil in my waterline. This is in shade Vivid. I use this in a lot of my videos. These are all the swatches of the shades that I used. This darkest blue shade felt a little bit more on the drier side, and I ended up packing it first and then blending it out. I felt like that technique worked the best with this specific shade. These 2 shimmers, they are complex shimmers. They have like multi-dimensional shimmer particles in them, so they're very pretty on the eyes, but generally the formula for all the shimmers is very consistent. I hope you enjoyed the look tutorials and found it inspirational. Let me know which one was your favorite, and I would love to know in the comments below what you thought of this launch. Did you already pick up this palette, or you were waiting to see a little bit more of reviews here on the platform? Like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this palette was sent to me in the PR, which I'm very grateful for. However, when I saw the preview on this palette, when I saw the color story reveal, I knew I would be buying this regardless myself. If this palette wasn't sent to me, I would be buying it myself. I really enjoyed this color story, and I also loved how this palette was organized. I really enjoyed the color and shades and undertone choices for this palette. I thought it was a really interesting approach and how they draw the inspiration from the theme that they chose. As a neutral lover, I do appreciate this column right here very much. However, I also love my greens, and these are very interesting greens. Like these undertones here, they're just so beautiful. They're just so flattering. I also really love the balance between mattes and shimmers. As far as the quality, I think it's pretty consistent throughout the entire palette. I really love the matte formula in NOMAD Cosmetics, and the shimmers are very beautiful. They are soft on touch. I experienced a little bit of dryness with this darker shade right here. However, I ended up packing it and then blending it out, and then it worked out out pretty well. And as far as shimmers, they're really nice and soft on touch. They pick up with finger really well and blend with the finger really well. They're very smooth on lids. Even though some of the shades have like multi-shimmer particles, they still go on lid very nicely and smoothly without like feeling chunky. I experienced a very tiny bit of a fallout from some of these multi-dimensional shades, but very, very minimal. Even though this palette was broken down within like specific color blocks, I really had appreciation for them putting a little bit different shade in each column. Like we have blue column, but then there's purple. Brown column, we have this beautiful taupey shade giving a little bit of interest, and some of these warmer pulling shimmers, also very nice touch. And then in the green section, I really enjoyed the shimmers overall, but I thought this one was very, very interesting. I really like how this shimmer played well with these shades from this column. And then the green shimmers, they're very nice and they're very bright and foily. It just really feels like they put a lot of thought into this color story just to make it not just color block it, but just to make it a little bit with a twist and just make it a little bit more exciting and interesting. So to my opinion, this is a good colorful palette for a neutrals lover. So if you're still debating on this palette, I could just sum it up because this is definitely a little bit more of your grungier palette. Generally, the vibe is a little bit darker, so you don't get like very light looks out of this palette. So that's just one thing to consider. So you definitely get a beautiful grungy like smoky eyes, or if you like a matte looks, I think the mattes would not disappoint you here. The shimmers are not lacking here. They're really, really good and beautiful and reflective and smooth on eyes. And so if you have any other questions or thoughts or comments, leave them in the comment section below this video. I would be more than happy to chat with you there. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it inspirational and helpful. If you did, give this a big thumb up. It does help my channel out. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more tutorials here on my channel, I will leave the playlist at the end of this video in the cards for you to enjoy. And if you're not yet a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe to my channel before you leave today. Thanks so much for watching, hanging out with me today, and I will see you in my next videos. Bye.